Here's what's odd. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this response, and it turned out that Jared really did hung up on this guy. But the thing is, he did it in a way that while the guy was finishing his sentences and talking. But I think a part of why he hung up on him, I understand. But the other part is Jared doesn't like to directly answer stuff. He's not a person of debate, I would say. Jared is not a person that is going to debate with people, you know? So, let me put that down. Jared is not the kind of person of debating, simply because he's not used to it. People that he likes, like Donald Trump and other folks, they're used to it. They're used to debating, but somebody like Jared is not. And the issue is that people like that, or something else, when it comes down to simply just getting things off their mind or facing up to things directly. Like I've said, this guy, Toxic J, he was only concerned about the majority of what the people wanted, as opposed to the individual. I would be concerned for, as an interviewer, more of what the person think, but more of what the people want at the same time. So it's kind of sort of a situation that comes down to a problem, and a lot of people don't like what I stand for either. Jared is not the only person that has this kind of problem. I've had this problem for years, and I find it funny that he was called some of the worst things in the world. While he gets insulted of that, he says stuff about me in the past. So that's intimidating and unfair. At the same time, trying to pretend to the world that he is this normal person when really he's not. He is not normal. His father said that he does have some mental issues. Now, Jared lies and says, I never had mental issues, but yet he mentioned something about being partially bipolar. Then again, not bipolar, but schizophrenic, or I don't know. Is either bipolar or schizophrenic? I'm not sure. Now I forgot. But it's crazy. People are just doing stuff. I had a feeling this Toxic J guy came up and wanted to be Jared's friend. He was after something. Anybody that tries to be friends with this Jared Genesis guy, they're always after something. And it seemed like to me, the only person that wasn't after something regarding Jared was myself. I mean, I dedicated 2 years of my life, which I really never had a life, but just speaking of as far as time, to Jared. And I was accused of supporting Jared and every bad habit. Most of all the assumptions come along. I get people that make accounts about me. I get people who've done stuff, which this stuff has happened before, but they're worse now, some of them, than before. They're crazy. And the fact that why can't we just sit here and talk rather than saying what you want to hear? You see, Toxic J, in my opinion, spoke sort of things, was sort of fair, but the other was fair on one side, but the other side of his mind is that he wanted to hear what he wanted to hear. You know, he wanted to hear what people wanted to hear. And I don't get what he meant by Jared not directly answering stuff. The thing is, Jared was talking about one question, then he asked about what kind of mental health that you're getting, and he hung up. So it's just, and I noticed too, the same slogan's been used every time that you speak the truth about something, negative and positivity. My mom had used this stuff on me, and I frankly get annoyed by it, because there is a such thing called mind over matter. There is a such thing called mind over matter. Not, and I don't believe too much of mind over matter because it doesn't work. It never did. It never worked. And it's just the first thing that Jared says to him, well, why can't we talk about something positive about myself? But yet, people are after what they want. So it's not, you're just...
forgot my boss.
Let me see here.
4chan autism, Look, I wish Toxic J all the best, but I blocked him. I don't want him part of my life anymore. I don't need negative people or judgmental people. I am who I am. If you can't accept that, dude, sorry, but just move the fuck on. You don't need to cry about it.
There is something that I will say that I think Jared knows that he was getting a live audience. Jared knows this. Now, if Jared was able to trust people, and of all people, he should trust me. The problem is, he doesn't have the mind of trust. Because he's been warped so much by these people. And I never done nothing, really, as I talked about the other live stream, the other video. The other video, I explained how everything happened. One character in particular, he decided to come on the stream and deliberately made up lies about me. And that's how the friction began. And the only person I was able to talk to after over almost a year was just his dad. And apparently his dad didn't do no good, because Jared is still thinking the same shit as he's thinking as far as his brainwashed mind. It doesn't make any damn sense. I'm sick of it. I had a hunch about his parents. I had a hunch about his dad. I had a hunch about his mother. And I started to wonder if I was right. And I think I'm right, because here's the problem. When you really don't be that intellectually concerned about something, this kind of stuff happens. Most people, they'll try to be like, whatever. But my goodness, this guy is too nice for comfort. He doesn't really do nothing. I'm not encouraging nobody to take nobody's computer. That's not what's on my mind. But the problem is, I just don't get it. This is explained. This really explains a lot. Sometimes I just don't understand how I got into this. I mean, I was sitting here one day with practically nothing to do, and I discovered this guy on the internet. This Jared Genesis dude, or it was Brother Jared originally. It wasn't Jared Genesis. But I had a distinct feeling about him, so I subscribed to him, because something told me within the time frame I would go through Jared Genesis, or Brother Jared, at that time. It was supposed to be bringing me beneficial things, answers, meeting interesting characters that might have interest in helping me. Sort of. I say sort of because the rest of it is just going to be me and me alone. But the other parts that gives me the ideas of doing it on my own are some of the characters. And it interests me. So, like I said, I had a feeling that Jared just there's some things that Jared doesn't discuss with anybody, and there's some things that Jared wouldn't mind discussing with anybody. It just depends. I think the only people he might be comfortable with is his parents or somebody that he really knows and trusts.